Dr. Sharma, William James talks about how, as an outsider could say that, the saint's vision is beneficial to their lives, or something like that. That there's an empirical way of judging that. I mean, I'm not sure what I think about that, but I was wondering if that's sort of in line with what you're arguing.
Okay, what we were talking so far was about facts. But now we are discussing things in the realm of value.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah? And William James is making a very interesting point that, or he could be seen as making a very interesting point, that when you have to deal with facts which are not verifiable in the normal scientific way, then one way of assessing them could be not on the basis of their truth value, but in terms of their positive value to those whom these experiences belong. So if a saint feels spiritually elevated through what we regard as an illusion of having encountered God, then that is not necessarily a bad thing. And the individual, not apart from the saint, who has an illusion of encountering an all-powerful deity in his imagination, or person or friend, after imagining whom he feels encouraged to face the challenges of life, then this may not be an entirely bad thing. And this is a very interesting line of thought, because it enables us to judge the quality of illusions. To a certain extent, this reminds of Pascal's wager. Are you familiar with the idea?
I think so.
Yeah. That I think Pascal says that we do not know whether God exists or not. So, are we better off by believing that he does? And he makes an argument that we are. Because if he does not exist and we believed in him, no harm is done. But if he really existed and we did not believe in him, then we are in trouble. We have a version of this in the Buddha's teachings also, where he uses a similar argument to justify belief in rebirth. So in a general sense, when you have to evaluate conditions in which there are elements about whose truth and falsehood you cannot make a firm decision, then this might be an interesting way of judging their worth, whether the net effect is positive or not. Similar argument was used by Mahatma Gandhi when he claimed that an earthquake was God's punishment for the sin of untouchability. And the rationalists in India attacked him for propagating such beliefs. And his counter-argument was that you may regard this as superstitious, but if this idea enables people to become more vigorous in their efforts to overcome untouchability, because they regard it as God's punishment, then is it really superstitious in the sense that we describe something as superstitious which has negative effects and does not help us in our moral life? But this does. So I think all these various arguments have a certain family resemblance. And very interesting to look at them from the perspective of how to arrive at some sort of rational decisions when a situation contains non-rational elements.